mean, and even the county commissioner we were with him yesterday, he assured of the residents for safety and secure, because so many people will be here, over 10,000 people will be here in Uasin Gishu, and the business community as well in Uasin Gishu County are waiting for them and are determined to ensure that they have a smooth operation. And even we are going to see today so many projects and developments are about to be done, and they're ready to be geared up towards the devolution conference. And speaking about the devolution conference, yesterday parents for the Finland Educational Saga, which has been here for the last months, which has been rocking up the county government, were here, and they were saying that they wanted their way forward, and they gave the county government, an ultimatum of 2 days. That is until tomorrow, and they were saying that they need their refund, or as well they won't get. They were saying the slogan they were using, it was no refund, no devolution. So we are waiting for the government to talk on towards them, towards the issue, and we are going to update you later on. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that, Joseph, updating us on matters at the devolution conference, which is actually expected to be held where he is at the moment, in Eldoret, that is in Uasin Gishu County. Just to update you, this particular conference will start exactly a week from now, that is next week on Tuesday, the 15th, all the way to the 19th of August, and we will be updating you all the way and just having these particular talks on matters devolution. Even as get more confirmation on the next county that we are going to go to, let me give you an update on today's diary right here in Nairobi. And I'll start with the National Assembly order paper, just taking a look at a few of the details that are going to be discussed as the legislators convene at around 2:30 p.m. to discuss and debate matters of the climate change, that is amendment bill, and also the excise duty amendment regulations 2023, well, among others. And we'll be taking a look at that also to keep you abreast on that. Also, remember the whole lifting of the logging ban, the whole furor on it, the whole back and forth on it. Well, today, Greenpeace Africa will hold a panel discussion to raise their concerns on the lifting of the logging ban. And we'll be following up on that to get to know the whole side of the story. Greenpeace Africa really fighting on matters climate change. So we definitely expect to see how that will be. And speaking about matters climate and change, today also we expect to see the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development, that is RCMRD 2023. It is a whole conference. It will be beginning today, all the way for around 3 days, and experts on all this will be converging in Kasarani, Nairobi County. So the whole aim of the conference is to offer an opportunity to geoscience experts to inform on matters policy. Away from that now to speak about matters policy also in Kirinyaga County, that is in Sagana State Lodge. This is an event that I believe had started around 7 a.m. President William Ruto holding a cabinet meeting. This coming on the backdrop of him reading the Riot Act to his cabinet a week now. So to speak, we'll be getting more details from that from our reporters there. Victor Moyakan is there. In a few, he'll be telling us the whole details of this cabinet meeting. I believe right about now it should be done, because about now, 9 a.m., President William Ruto is also expected to be commissioning KCC plant in Kiganjo, that is in Kieni constituency. KCC plant, this is to do with matters milk, basically. We also expect to see President William Ruto meeting area leaders out there and, so to speak, the Mount Kenya governors, again, on matters devolution. So we expect to see how the governors themselves around the Mount Kenya, the issues that they will be bringing on the table and telling the president, this is what we want as Mount Kenya when it regards devolution. This is the amount of money that we would like to be disbursed, even after reading the first budget, the amount of money that President William Ruto promised to be disbursed to counties, even as the president will be telling them, this is the amount of money I disbursed to, and I rather promised to disburse to counties. So how much will these particular counties use on matters devolution? This is just but a few of what to expect from other areas. And just to update you also on other matters regarding other counties, we do also expect to see today in Mombasa County. We'll be linking up with Paul Minu to get more on that. NACADA will be briefing the media on the new drug. Well, it's not technically a new drug, but it is a whole issue that has raised concerns and raised eyebrows across the country, called fentanyl, at the County Commissioner's office to investigate and probe the whole use of this. This coming on the backdrop of about 2 weeks or so. And remember, we did have also NACADA, acting CEO, right here on TV47 and on Morning Cafe, telling us that they are actually beginning this particular process, and definitely they have begun to be in Mombasa to get to know what is really causing this and why the upsurge of this drug. And according to the experts, this is a drug that has quite the side effects. So we will update you on what will be told. So NACADA will be meeting and basically briefing the media on the use of this drug, fentanyl, across the constituencies in Mombasa County, also teaming up with security experts around that particular area. Remember the question of the day we had asked you right now, even as we mark 365 days on when Kenyans went to the ballot last year, time around now, 9th of August, to cast the ballots on 6 elective posts. That is the president, the governor, the senator, the woman representative, a member of parliament, and also the member of the county assembly. So apart from the president that maybe you voted for, the other 5 elective posts, which do you feel? I'll be taking a look at that. Let me see what you're saying on Facebook at TV47 Kenya. Remember on X, or if you prefer, Twitter, Nyiringita _ and also Limuki _F, and Fred Indimuli. Let me just, right, even as you also keep updating us on that, let's cross over to Nakuru County in Naivasha. Willie Dennis Njiro, a very good morning to you. Last week, rather yesterday, we did see that particular accident along Mai Mahiu, Naivasha, and the whole demise of Nyamaiya Ward MCA Elijah Osiemo. What is the latest on that and also other issues in Naivasha?
Thank you very much, my colleague Stanley Nyaringita, coming to you live from Naivasha CBD. Just like you touched tabs on the situation and the issue that raised up yesterday, where we had a sad day for Nyamira County as the majority leader lost his life on Mai Mahiu Narok Road. The other 2 MCAs that were together with him have since been moved to Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi for specialized treatment. Honorable Priscilla had fractures on her backbone that this was supposed to go for further analysis, and so that good care can be taken following what happened yesterday. And Duke had a fractured arm, which was taken first aid in Naivasha, and then also later referred for specialized treatment in Nairobi for further examinations, probably on any other injuries that could have occurred. It is remembered that Narok, Mai Mahiu Road is a killer road. For over the years, it has been marked as one of a great road along the stretch, and like the A1 for Naivasha, Nakuru, Nairobi highway as well. And motorists are always urged to take great caution when they are on that road, seemingly because of its terrain, steep slopes, and more of it. That was for yesterday, and today apparently, just unlike it is to any other person, Stanley, every time one is marking their birthday, it is always a good time to take notes and have prospects for the next year. For this, I stand here and say that today we are 1 year into this administration. You remember? Tomorrow is date 8 when Kenyans a year ago went for the polls to have a choice of their leaders that are incumbent in offices today. And part of what maybe we could be hearing from the locals here. Ndugu, karibia hapa unieleze.
Karibu sana.
Nchi sasa tuko mwaka moja baada ya uongozi huu kuingia. Unakumbuka tarehe 9 mwaka jana tulienda uchaguzi.
Ndio.
Sasa leo ni mwaka moja baadaye tumemaliza mwaka.
Ile kitu nitasema.
Jitambulishe kwanza.
Kwa majina ni Dr. Jaud Brigade Maewa. Uchumi ni mbaya. Mambo imepanda. Mkate sasa tumenunua 75 na ilikuwa 50. Watoto hata shule imepanda. Na walisema shule ni bure, bado tunalipa, hata tunashindwa namna gani. Sasa tunataka hii serikali tusaidie, hata itupe hata basari. Wazazi waweze kusomesha watoto. Wazazi kama mimi. Mimi ni mzazi, niko na mtoto darasa la 8. Anataka basari. Watu wajaribu watusaidie tuwasomeshe juu sisi tunafanya kazi hapa ya kubeba mizigo. Tunauza machungwa, transport imekuwa bei kali, mafuta imepanda, uchumi imekuwa mbaya. Serikali ya Ruto inafaa ituangalie na itujali sisi wananchi. Walisema hii serikali ni bottom up, lakini tunaona baadaye ya bottom up ai watusaidie bana.
Haya, asante. Wacha tumsikie kutoka kwa mwingine. Ndugu, karibia tu hapa dakika moja. Tueleze, ni mwaka mmoja sasa baada ya uchaguzi. Sasa una yapi ya kusema kwa kifupi tu kabla tujarejea studio?
Haya, mimi kwa majina naitwa Patrick Nyabuto. Mimi naenda kuongelea kuhusu mambo ya hii photo map tuliambiwa, lakini tumeenda kuvumilia. Tumeona sasa sisi wananchi tunaanza kuumia sana. Mambo ya uchumi imekuwa mbaya. Kiangalia upande ya mkate sasa tunanunua 75 mpaka 80. Sasa tunashindwa tufanye nini ya kusema. Hata hatuna kitu ya kusema. Hata watoto shule school fees tunakosa kwa kulipa juu hatuna kazi ya kufanya. Kazi imekosa kwa vile alikuwa amesema tutapata kazi kwa vijana. Hadi hiyo kazi kwa vijana ndio hatujaona sisi kama wananchi.
Lakini si afadhali wewe unaweza kumudu gharama ya mkate? Kuna wengine hawezi nunua mkate.
Kuna wengine hawezi nunua. Hata mimi saa zingine nafika na kosa ya kununua. Na pia wengine pia kutoka nyuma yangu mpaka watu wanaamuka hata chai hawakunywangi. Hii gharama tumefikia ya leo ndio imekuwa mbaya. Tunaomba rais wetu ungetuangalilia usilai kama wananchi wenye walikupea kura ukaingia hiyo kiti ukakalia. Sisi tunakupenda. Tupe amani na wao angalie mambo ya uchumi utengenezee.
Asante sana kwa muda wako. Stanley, that is just a part of the group that is just behind me here. Commonly referred to as hustlers, who are airing their sentiments to the president to live to his campaign promises to ensure that he touches base with the common mwananchi on basic commodities. And like I told our viewers, it is 1 year today since we went to the polls. This could actually be called a birthday of its kind, where you take notes and know pitfalls and where you have been able to make a score. And probably everybody is alluding to the fact that the score has not been as it had been promised, but we look forward to see what comes of it. Remember, the president was in one of the local dialect stations giving his promises and reiterating his commitment to the citizens that all is going to be well in a near future. This is all a wait and see, because they say you cannot give birth today and then tomorrow the child has just sprouted tooth. So we are waiting to see what comes of it. That is it from me here in Naivasha, Stanley Nyaringita. I take it back to you. We will be catching base some other time to see the latest developments regarding the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza talks that are almost facing, a stalemate. Stanley.
All right, thank you, Willie Dennis Njiru in Naivasha. I can see the whole Nairobi call has also caught up with you. Let's speak about matters catching up with you. We'll definitely be linking up with Willie Dennis Njiru to get to his sentiments and the residents' sentiments later on, even tomorrow, as Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza are set to have the second tier of the dialogue, which, according to National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, wants it to happen in the Bomas of Kenya and to have to be out in the public for media coverage. So we'll be getting in that. But then, even as Willie Dennis Njiru was asking the residents of Naivasha the whole sentiments, 1 year later, about 365 days, if you also want to count the whole minutes, I know maybe Fred Ndimuli also knows all those minutes and seconds in that. We had asked you that earlier, but remember, this isn't just about the president. All other 5 elective posts. You can see some new feedback here on Facebook. Brian Aujemba, voting for President Ruto is the best thing I did for this country. George Nyangweso, I made good choice by voting for Raila. I'm looking for a particular sentiment that really shows someone who, rather, just apart from the presidential, let me see here. Hesbon Omoyo, yes, the economy was going on a dark pit, but now it's improving slowly. Okay, who else here? Teddy Waswa, there is hope for good and better life. It's just a matter of time. That is what is you saying. Who else here? Vincent Midega, right, we've taken a look at that previously. Higen, okay. Trying to filter a number of what you're really saying right here. Who else? Kwame Nkrumah, yes, we have the best president in Kenya, is in the right trajectory. A number of you are really saying yeses and nos without actually really giving us a number of what you're saying. Also at TV47 News on X, someone here says, I did not vote. Let me get that name rightfully. Okay, even as my phone loads, remember we'll be updating this particular county diary with our correspondents and just touching base with them even as time progresses, and get to know from where you're watching us this morning, what is happening there. We have found a number and a few feedbacks here. All right, let me take a look at a few here. As we mark 1 year after elections, are you satisfied with the choice you made at the ballot? Sir, right. Someone here says, Wanjohi, at Wanjohi, 31. Only one. My MCA is at least pushing things on the ground. And he says, Game Rock at Ponje 423 says, I didn't vote. Remember last year, around a time like this, there was a whole high-octane politics, so really speaks largely on so far, even as a time like this last year, even as they were coming to your place, coming to your market, coming to your schools, all everywhere, in your constituencies and in your wards, and you're telling them the reason and the whole manifesto on why they should, you should vote for them. Looking back, a whole 365 days later and a whole 1 year later, even as you even preparing for the whole voting process, are you satisfied on the person that you actually went to the ballot area and polling station and voted for? Right now, let's take a short break. We'll be right back to gather more from our correspondents across the country. Victor, very good morning to you. Last week, thereabout, we did see President William Ruto read the Riot Act to his cabinet. Incidentally, today he, chaired, rather, had a meeting with the cabinet. How significant was today's cabinet meeting? What are the details that you may have gathered from this cabinet meeting?
Right. Very good morning to you, Stanley, and good morning to Fred as well as Flora, the morning team. This is the only way to start your day. As you can see, it's a bright and sunny morning, which is something of a surprise for us. We've been here for the last 3 or 4 days, and every morning has been chilly, to say the least, and to be generous. But today is bright and sunny. Quite a good day we have ahead of us. As you rightly said, the president has been on a working tour of this area for the last 3 days or so, and it's likely to go for another 2 days. So roughly about 5 days of a working tour of this area. And the main agenda has been about launching or commissioning projects, some of the projects that had been commissioned before and needed to be launched, or rather inaugurated. And of course, meeting the people. This scene was very reminiscent of how the Kenya Kwanza campaigns were just a year ago in the run-up to the August elections last year. The president and his deputy in their absolute element, meeting the people, pressing the flesh, so to speak, charming the crowd, chiding them, cajoling them, and ramping them up, of course. That is what has been happening for the last few days. But also, there's been quite a bit of local and national politics and interplay of the same. We've seen all kinds of leaders represented here from the Nyeri County, from every single county that we've traversed when we left with the president from Nairobi. Started out at Githurai in Kiambu County, went to Murang'a County, and then went to Kirinyaga County, and now we're in Nyeri County. Now, let me give you a little bit about of a detail, a little bit of just a little bit of detail about today. Today, the president is having a cabinet meeting at the Sagana State Lodge. That is happening right now as we speak. All the cabinet secretaries are congregated there for a cabinet meeting. Now, today is different because that meeting, the meeting as it's ongoing and the aftermath of it are not open to the media for coverage. It's a closed-door meeting in camera, as they say, and that's ongoing right now. Immediately after that, the president is expected to open a new KCC facility, the Kenya Cooperative Creameries facility at Kiganjo, which is just about 20 minutes from where I'm at right now, which will be not in Kieni constituency, which is about 20 minutes from here, 15 kilometers from here. After that, there's going to be another meeting, this time with Mount Kenya opinion leaders. You can interpret that as you wish. We're talking about people of note, people of influence. We're talking about business leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, and that's going to be happening at the Sagana State Lodge as well. And then after that, there's going to be a bit of a break, and there's going to be another meeting once again with governors of Mount Kenya region, from this mountain region. All the governors from this region will be congregating at the Sagana State Lodge as well. Now, you may wonder as to what the tone and the agenda of these meetings will be. They're close to the public, close to the media. But, the people we've spoken to have given us a little bit of an indication of what the meetings are supposed to be. Now, the president has a big job on his hands right now. And, as indicated by the immediacy, or rather the imperative of this trip to the mountain, to shore up support for the government, to connect with a region that was very instrumental into getting him into power, to rather reconnect with that region, as well as to be able to communicate some of the government agenda and some of the government stance and positioning on what is going on in the country right now, specifically the cost of living, specifically the Finance Act, and furthermore specifically the upcoming talks between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. all that has been happening, and those meetings will be to align not just his leadership, but also the political leadership of the area to align along those lines. The cabinet meeting that's happening this morning right now, part of the agenda, we're informed, is some of the things that have been indicated here, some of the promises that have been given to the locals right here in this area, and to the local leaders as well. Projects, for example, alignment, adjustments in government policy to be able to serve the people better. Those are some of the things that will be in discussion. And the president has actually promised the people, through their leaders, as he was going around in the different stops, to be able to give them, or rather make the necessary adjustments that will be able to benefit them. And so part of that agenda will be to align his cabinet to those things. Another reason for that meeting, we're informed, is it's a matter of routine. It's a matter of course, you know, the president will need to meet his cabinet from time to time, and since he's over here for a number of days, then the cabinet will come to him. As I say, if the mountain cannot come to Mohammed, then Mohammed must go to the mountain. That's what's happening here at the Sagana State Lodge. The meetings later on are interesting, though. Those are with opinion leaders, you know, from this area, and the sitting governors from this area. I'll take you back to Sunday, where we had the interdenominational service at the Sagana State Lodge. A number of governors from this area showed up, with the exception of one or two. The Tharaka Nithi governor didn't make it and sent an apology. One of the sentiments that came out from that meeting is that particularly the leaders from what they call Mount Kenya East, we're talking Meru, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, there was a call for the president to perhaps open up avenues for them to be able to also relate and connect and share their views alongside the leaders of Mount Kenya West, which is Nyeri, Kiambu, Kirinyaga, and Nyandarua. All of that was in play. And in fact, there was a rather interesting suggestion, I should say, from the governor of Embu, that perhaps another state lodge needs to be opened on that other side, Mount Kenya East, to be able to ensure that the people of there also get to see a lot more of their president. So the conversation will be around development. The conversation will be around the upcoming conversation. The conversation will be around access to government services. One of the things that was raised that was an issue was access to identification cards, access to passports, access to documents of a statutory nature, and you know, the requirements for job seeking, things like the police abstracts, things like the certificate of good conduct, things like passports and IDs that I've mentioned before. Those are issues that some of the governors raised in that meeting, at the interdenominational meeting at Sagana State Lodge last Sunday. I imagine those are some of the issues that will be addressed in the meeting with the Mount Kenya governors later on today. Now, the meeting with the opinion leaders of this area, once again, like I've indicated, the general consensus is that these meetings are there to shore up support for government agenda, to reconnect with a region that actually did very well to put the president in power. A region that is actually represented in government in a very big way. A vast majority of the principal secretaries and as well the deputy president is from this region. That, in a nutshell, rather large nutshell, I must say, is the agenda for today. We'll be here today and tomorrow, where a few more things will be happening, including not limited to the launch of the affordable housing project in Kirinyaga. 30,000 jobs to the youth of the mountain that will be needed to help get that project off the ground. And once again, we're here to give you what you need to understand concerning what's happening in this working tour of the president. Over to you, Stanley and Fred and Flora. It's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Victor Muyakane. I'm eager to hit the road and get going. It's been an absolute pleasure. From the streets of Nyeri Town for TV47. Have a great day.
It's definitely, Victor. Thank you for that. And yourself have a fabulous day. And looks quite bright and shiny in Nyeri, so definitely expect to see all that tight schedule for the president earlier on, meeting with his members of the cabinet and also commissioning the KCC plant, and now to other matters that will not have the whole media coverage meeting Mount Kenya leaders. And even as he was alluding, a number of leaders from the whole Mount Kenya East and West, and even all that really, have all of that. And just to have also a brief on our reporter here, Chapter Boyd, telling us briefly on what we will be following up on that also. Chapter.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stanley.
Apart from all that is happening in Nyeri, Mount Kenya, Victor's really given us quite a huge nutshell. What do you expect?
Of course, we expect members of parliament who have accompanied President William Ruto to the Mount Kenya region to be speaking, of course, ahead of the bipartisan talks that are meant to be held tomorrow at the Bomas of Kenya. Apart from that, still on the bipartisan talks, you see there's been a push and pull between the Azimio team and the Kenya Kwanza team. So we shall be knowing that. We shall be listening to a few MPs who have accompanied. Of course, Ichung'wah might be speaking.
Right.
And apart from that, we'll be having these interrogation of the DCI officers are continuing to interrogate affiliates of the WorldCoin organization to shed more light on the data they were taking. It's day 2 now of the interrogation at the DCI headquarters, and investigation is ongoing because we don't even know. They are yet to explain to us, is this data taken meant to see, are they planning to use this data in any bad way or any good way?
All right.
Apart from that, we have Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome, expected to address the security state of the nation. You remember, we've been having security issues in Karario, you see, Transmara region. There's been border conflicts.
Yeah.
There's West Pokot, still border conflicts. There's Turkana. There's been a push and pull within West Pokot and Turkana counties. There's Lamu also, which has been on the spot for Al-Shabaab attacks.
Okay.
You see, apart from that, we have a pastor accused of defiling 2 minors to be sentenced today. The pastor committed the same in the year.
In which area?
2014-2015, that is in the Western region.
Okay.
Yeah. The minors are between 15 years and 11 years. He's yet to be sentenced today. And the Departmental Committee on Health meeting to investigate alleged fraudulent payments by NHIF for close to 3 months now. NHIF has been on the spot for fraudulent payments. You see, we've been initially, it all started in Meru, where about 9 hospitals were put on the spot for telling patients, you see, come pay via NHIF, but this is a private facility.
Right.
Yeah, so they're going to be going to have leaders shedding more light on the same. Still also, let me go back to the WorldCoin tomorrow. CS, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, and ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo will be appearing before the National Assembly to shed light still on matters WorldCoin. Yeah. Apart from that, we have National Assembly Order of the Day, legislators to convene at 2:30 p.m., of course, to debate regarding the climate change.
Right.
And there's the furor of lifting of logging ban. Of course, after it was lifted, there's been you see, we don't want a back and forth of all that. Okay. Yeah. And then there is the RCMRD Conference 2023, the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development Conference begins today. The aim of the conference is to offer an opportunity for geoscience experts to inform policy.
Okay.
And of course, we have Mount Kenya University Parklands campus having their graduation today. Those are the law students. Right. Just, 2 days after the main graduation was held at Mount Kenya, the main campus in Thika.
Will you be there?
Of course.
So that you at least learn a few legal lingo.
Yeah. What do you know about law?
I'll brief you on that. That by itself, it's low.
Yeah, that's part of what we are following up closely in the newsroom.
Right.
Yeah, of course, more are set to come up during the day. And we'll be keeping an eye on as many stories that will be coming up. And we shall be briefing you all this at TV 47 and Radio 47. Stanley.
Right, thank you very much for that, Chapter Boyd. And also today, even as I throw it to Fred and Flora right there, today's birthday is Black History, back all the way in the United States of America, whole Black history, all there. Now to you, Fred.
Asante sana, Stanley. You said it's Black History Day.
Yes.
Okay, what exactly is that?
Basically, the whole, the slaves back then, 18 something, they had that freedom is here. So they always remember, for the Black Americans, quite an important day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Every day you learn something.
Every day you really learn.
Well, it's been such a pleasure having our viewers with us since 6 a.m. this morning. Throughout all the conversations, through the question of the day today, we were asking, as we look forward to marking 1 year since the elections of August 9th, 2022, are you satisfied with the choices you made at the ballot? And listening to all the views, I could just see a lot of, Ruto this, Raila that, Ruto this, Raila that. And that is an obsession we've been talking about. Yeah. That beyond the presidential election, beyond the presidency, you made a lot of other decisions. You elected an MCA, a governor, member of the National Assembly, women representative, member of the Senate. Yes. Surely, it is an opportune time for you to actually gauge their performance as well. Forget about the presidency for a moment.
But fairly so, last year, a time like this, with the high-octane politics, it was politics for the presidential, candidates, largely, a huge percentage, and, rarely even for the, for the governor's other elective posts, the governor, the senator, the woman representative, the member of parliament, and also the MCA. Rarely you'd see even the presidential candidates really coming and telling you, well, as much as you'd probably want to vote for me, but then, remember, there's also this elective post for the MCA. This is your direct link to me. So we'd rarely see that. As much as we'd see that in a few areas, but then we'd rarely see that.
But I think that's where we lose the opportunity, because surely these other leaders may actually affect you directly.
Yes.
Yes, because you find that people are so obsessed with the presidency, and then you forget the president won't know about that road that has never been constructed for the last 5-10 years that we've had different regimes. But if you're directly involved in keeping your MCA or MP in check, that's the person you should actually be speaking to. And then when now you put so much focus on the president, you forget about what is happening even in your constituency. And then these people, even your MCAs, MPs, they don't even deliver on their mandate because
you're giving them a holiday.
Yes, give them a holiday because they'll be in State House and in Nairobi having meetings and forgetting the grassroots where it's actually you people who actually voted them in. And
also in turn, this particular, the all other elective leaders also join in the whole ride and saying you as the president. We are forgetting that this leader was elected also.
They have a job and they're riding along, I think. And I'm almost tempted to adjust our question and ensure that we write off the presidency, the presidential election, because all the answers are about the presidency. Are you satisfied with the choices you made at the ballot 1 year ago? Forget about the presidency.
Yes.
All the other seats. Are you satisfied? The conversation will continue online at TV47 News on X, at TV47 Kenya on Facebook. Please, as we look forward to marking 1 year after the August 9th elections 2022, are you satisfied with the choices you made at the ballot 1 year ago?
Then even I was taking a look at some of those comments. There were some interesting ones. Some real people really saying that even the MCA that they voted in, they're seeing this leader taking up matters and really being on ground to do things.
Seize the moment. It is the opportune time to actually gauge the performance of your leaders. And speaking about seizing, I have a saying here to end the day. And as we wrap up this edition of Morning Cafe, this is what I leave you with. Seize the day with unwavering determination and a heart full of gratitude. You've got this. My name is Freddy Ndimuli. Good morning.
Most definitely. And speak about matters seizing, shall go a whole African proverb. Only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet. I'll leave the translation for you and you, dear viewer. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyaringita, the 8th day of the 8th month of 2023. Asante sana for sticking around. It has been a terrific Tuesday with you and with us and you. Have yourself a lovely day.
Shall we call it Nane Nane? Thank you so much for keeping it a morning cafe. And of course, we have so many